I want to just take a moment and thank Reverend Masando, who spoke so beautifully last week. Thank you so much, Reverend Masando. And listen, if you haven't seen part 2 of our Spirituality and Climate Justice series, I invite you to watch that. His talk is beautiful. So avail yourself of that gift if you haven't yet experienced that. I want to begin today with a quote. I want to just do a short reading from poet laureate Joy Harjo's book of poetry called Conflict Resolution for Holy Beings. She writes, "Welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It may return in pieces, in tatters. Gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost for so long." You know, during this time, I know that all of us have felt at times lost. We have, in moments, forgotten the truth, the eternal truth of who we are and why we have come here. We've all had moments, where unconsciously, I think, or even consciously, believed in separation rather than oneness. If we could whittle our teaching down to one word, it's oneness. And what I know is that in theory, that's one thing. In practice, it's totally different. It's a lifelong walk to practice oneness. I love how Joy Harjo says, "Welcome your spirit back from its wandering." And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I was in a very deep, healing, beautiful meditation a couple of days ago. And this beloved community, all of you here in Oregon and in the United States and around the world, all of you in our beloved community came into my heart and into my awareness. And the phrase that kept coming up from within me was, "I am holy, I am sacred. You are holy, you are sacred. We are holy, we are sacred." And it just kept coming over and over. I am holy, I am sacred. You are holy, you are sacred. We are holy, we are sacred. And this gave me a lot to be with. The word holy simply means to be of God or of spirit. And the definition of sacred is to regard with reverence or respect because we are of God, because of a connection to God. So to say, "I am holy, I am sacred," is to say, I am of God. Because, of course, we are all of spirit. We are all God's stuff. And as such, we all get to regard ourselves with reverence and respect because of that spiritual truth. I am holy, I am sacred, means I am part of divinity, and because of that, I have deep respect for myself. The great metaphysical teacher Eric Butterworth wrote, "The kingdom," I would add queendom and kingdom, "of all potentiality is already within you." The kingdom of all potentiality is already within you. Because the truth is that since before time, you have always been holy, my love, and you have always been sacred. That is the highest, oldest truth of you. As I look out here and I see this small group, the staff, amazing team, I see Brian Harris over there. Brother, you are holy and you are sacred. Leela, you are holy and you are sacred. John, you are holy and you are sacred. Rand, beloved Rand, you are holy and you are sacred. Shayla, you are holy and you are sacred. Reverend Masando, Annette, Shelley, Faith, Bob, you are holy and you are sacred. You are holy and you are sacred. Joe, you are holy and you are sacred too. You're welcome. And you, my loves, online, you are holy and you are sacred wherever you are watching us from. Lori In Colorado, you are holy and you are sacred. Cheryl in Colorado, and happy birthday, by the way, my dear, you are holy and you are sacred. Mom and Kelly watching in California, you are holy and you are sacred. Debbie in Germany, you are holy and you are sacred. Farhan in Spain, you are holy and you are sacred. All of our friends in India, you are holy and you are sacred. We are holy and we are sacred. It's one thing to hear this blessing. It's another thing to bless yourself with this truth. I want to invite us into that practice for a moment. So everyone here and those of you online, I invite you to just take a deep breath. Taking in the love that was just felt through that blessing and allowing yourself to give it to yourself. I invite you on the in-breath to say silently to yourself, I am holy. And on your out-breath, and I am sacred. I am holy, and I am sacred. I am holy, and I am sacred. When you're ready, please open your eyes. I loved that little phone chime. Spirit agrees. God agrees. Did you hear that online? It went ding, ding. God went, yes, you are. The thing is that the spiritual truth of us is that even if we have forgotten that our heart of hearts is holy and our eternal soul is sacred, this is true of us, and it is true of every sentient being, everyone, even the people we disagree with, and especially the people that we don't like. They are holy. And they are sacred. That is their eternal truth as well. Swami Vivekananda said, the moment I have realized God sitting in the temple of every human body, the moment I stand in reverence before every human being and see God in them, that moment I am free from bondage. Everything that binds vanishes, and I am free. So taking this idea to the next level, can you, my friends, picture someone, anyone at all, that you have perhaps a challenge with right now? And if you don't have a challenge with anyone in your life, perhaps it's someone in the public eye, it could be someone that has passed on, and there's still stuff there. Whatever that is for you, I invite you to take a deep breath and silently say to them, despite this behavior, the highest truth is that your heart is holy and your soul is sacred. Their heart is holy, whether they know it or not. And their soul is sacred. It always has been, whether they know it or not. And they, too, very well may have forgotten this, and that's okay, we humans do this. But this week, I invite you into the spiritual practice. Just allow yourself to silently say this to them, realizing it's the truth of their eternal being that is holy. Oftentimes, their personality can feel very far from holy, but their eternal soul is. Their eternal soul is sacred. I actually said very loudly to the TV the other day while watching a story about a very challenging person on Rachel Maddow, your heart is holy and your soul is sacred. It helped me. It really helps. Last week, Reverend Masando said this global pandemic is showing up in plain sight and showing us how inextricably connected we all are. And that is so true. That is so true. Because the thing is, we can lead with that. We can lead with the recognition and the remembrance of our oneness, despite any divisiveness. So when someone is in front of you acting in an unskilled way, if you can silently take a breath and just remind yourself, they can be talking and being unskilled, and it can be messy, or it can be on the TV. You can take a breath, and you can silently remind yourself in the middle of that kerfuffle with someone, wherever you are, at work or the grocery store or on the phone or over Zoom, knowing that we are all inextricably connected, you can say to yourself, despite this behavior, their heart is holy and their soul is sacred. And doing this creates the space, and it allows for unconditional love to show up, which is precisely the healing that is wanting to happen. And this practice requires that we stay awake, my friends, that we don't go back to sleep. It's easy to want to just go back to sleep, isn't it? I am holy. I am sacred. You are holy. You are sacred. We are holy. We are sacred. This is so important right now as we begin to dip our big toe into the water of what it's going to be like on the other side of this pandemic. Remembering that this truth about our human family will help support the planetary peace process that we are all currently undergoing. We all get to be a part of this peace process. I believe that is why we incarnated here. And I think in many, many ways, countless times, we have actually practiced this without even knowing it. There's a story that I love. I shared it a while ago, and I have to share it today because it's so apropos. It's about a man who was asked to paint a boat. He brought paint and brushes and began to paint a boat, bright red, just like the owner had asked him to do. And while painting, he noticed a very small hole in the hull, and he quietly repaired it, didn't think much of it. And when he finished painting, he received his money and he left. And the next day, kind of late in the day, the owner of the boat came to the painter, and he gave him a very sizable, nice check, much higher than the payments for the painting of the boat. And the painter was surprised, and he said, "Oh, no, you already paid me. That's okay, that's cool, you already paid me. But it's not for the paint job, it's for repairing the hole in the boat," the owner said. "Oh, it was a small service. Oh, no, it's not worth paying me that high amount. It's fine. That was something so insignificant." "My dear friend," the owner of the boat responded, "you do not understand. When I asked you to paint the boat, I forgot that there was a hole in it. And my kids took the boat out on the water that day. And they didn't know that there was a hole in it, and I wasn't home at the time to stop them. And when I returned, I discovered that they had taken the boat, and I was desperate, and I was panicked for their safety. I cannot convey to you the relief and absolute joy when they came home safely. I examined the boat, and then I found that you had mended it. You had repaired that hole. In your simple kindness, you saved my children." None of us knows how many times we have mended someone else's boat. And I guarantee you, there are many, many, many times when many, many, many people have mended our boat without us knowing. That is grace within us at work. That is the noticing of something that is in need of mending or tending to, and just quietly doing it. That is God or Spirit at work through us. And that, my friends, is the action connected to the remembering that the collective heart is holy and the collective soul is sacred, every single one of us. Because when we can remember that truth, no matter what separation may be felt at the moment, we can change the trajectory of the potential outcome for the better. In those moments that we mend someone else's boat, whoever they are, when we care for them in whatever way that we can, we are participating in the peace process on this planet. Let's do more of that, my friends. Because if you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about doing this, of mending someone's boat, keep in mind that in doing that, you are potentially metaphorically saving their children. You are saving this world. Every small act of love saves this world. All of it. And it takes all of us. We are being called right now to bring more peace, not division, to lead with love, not to tear down with ego, to walk in greater compassion for each other, and to mend each other's boats. So I invite you to go out into this week and notice the times when you have an opportunity. Notice when you see that hole in the boat. I invite you to stop and take a breath and ask yourself, what is mine to do here? Is this mine to ignore? Or is this mine to actually step in with love? And I invite you also to recognize all the moments when all of us, every one of us, has the opportunity to take in the truth, to remember that whoever it is that is in front of us, whoever it is, however they are acting out, whatever it is occurring, that their heart is holy and their soul is sacred.